Here with me, Senator. A lot to talk about and a short time to do it. First of all, the president continues to push the idea of election fraud and legal challenges, and most of these continue to be rejected over the 2020 election. Is it time for the president to accept the results and move on with this?
Hey, Kevin. Good morning. It's good to be on with you. Well, I think there's no doubt that the president's legal team has exposed examples of irregularity and potential fraud or simple mistakes that were caught in the course of recounts. That's why we have legal processes in place for these post-election disputes. However, the evidence has to be adduced in courts and has to stand up to scrutiny. And you're right that some of the claims that some people who are purporting to represent the president are simply not supported by the evidence. So as more and more states certify their elections and the evidence is not there that there was sufficiently widespread fraud or irregularities to change the results not just in one state but in 3 states that would change the results of the Electoral College, then it does become time to move on towards an orderly transition. That's one reason why the president last week directed the General Services Administration to release the federal monies and office space and resources to Joe Biden's team so they can begin to prepare for that. Look, this is all playing out in accordance with legal processes, though, and it'll continue to do so through December 14th when the electors meet in their various state capitals to cast their ballots.
These processes that we're going through here, legal, every one of them except I think one has been, only one that hasn't been rejected with that. And the president continues to talk. He's got the big microphone. He's got that has the attention with the bullhorn and says, there's all this fraud. He has big proof of this, but that hasn't appeared yet. If you have big proof of that, don't we as Americans need to know about it? If not, aren't you undermining the election process? And to what purpose for that? Why does this continue to go on?
Kevin, if any results are going to change, of course, the proof has to be produced in court, and there has to be a court victory. This is when you're past the election, when the campaign is over, which was the time for politicians, you're in the time for lawyers and letting the facts and the law dictate the results. That's the case in the presidential election. That's the case in the recount that we've had in Arkansas, that we're still having places like Iowa and New York where you have congressional races that are decided by 6 or 13 votes. Now, we have seen, as I said, evidence of irregularities or some fraud, and I think that legislators at the state level and in Congress should take that seriously and review it in the future to see what we can do to better secure the sanctity of our ballots.
No doubt.
But without evidence of sufficiently widespread irregularities or fraud that would flip the results in not just 1 but 3 critical states, then you would expect the Electoral College to cast its vote on December 14th, and that will be the end of the matter.
Senator Tom Cotton, COVID relief, what's happening in Congress involving that? Anything that's going to be coming soon?
I certainly hope so, Kevin. The hours are getting late, though. Nancy Pelosi is still dug in on her massive $3.5 trillion bill, and that's simply not going to happen. We have bipartisan support for a Senate bill that would get relief to those who need it most. Workers and industries have been particularly hard hit, like waiters and busboys and cooks and people who are involved in close personal contact and instruction, like music teachers or karate instructors or so forth. Airlines. I'd like to see them get help. I don't know if Nancy Pelosi and the House Democrats are going to relent, though. Now, one thing that we might do is we hope to pass a full-year spending bill either this week or next week, and there are some expiring programs from the CARES Act, which we passed unanimously in March, that I think we should extend. Things like loan forbearance or paycheck protection program extension. So I hope that if we can't get agreement on a new coronavirus relief bill, we can at least extend some of these critical programs beyond their year-end expiration date.
You all right? You doing okay? Just checking with you.
I'm doing very well.
Right.
We're done with the turkey leftovers and getting on the Christmas ties for the Christmas season.
Yeah, we got to touch a turkey tetrazzini leftover. Leftovers become leftovers again. That's how that rolls. Senator Tom Cotton, good to have you on. Thanks so much.
Thank you. Good to be with you.
All right.